You know, there is no better way to enter Sunday than when Saturday ends in the exact way you hoped it would. This isn't even just sports betting. This is with everything. You go out on a Saturday, maybe the first place you go to isn't good. This isn't really going to be my night. You want to go to that one last place? All right, fine, let's go to that one last place. You lock eyes with someone, and then before you know it, it's Sunday morning, and you're not doing the walk of shame. You're doing that stride of pride back to your apartment. And I'll never forget this time. This is 100% true story. I was doing a stride of pride on a Sunday morning, and I've brought up Noble Englishman on this show before. The closest I've ever been to a true Noble Englishman was when I was walking home that morning. I swear to you, I was doing a semi-whistle. I was in such a good mood, and I really think I did this to someone, like a tip of the cap, like top of the morning to you. That's how good of a mood I was in. I'm not going to say that's exactly what we were last night, but that's kind of how the night ended. When you smack right before the clock strikes midnight, a plus 495 same game parlay, that gets you excited for a Saturday, because when you end Saturday and you go into Sunday with that winning momentum, it's just like any other streak. When a quarterback's feeling it, when a defense in the NHL is feeling it, we want to get right back on the ice, and in this case, we want to get right back on the field. And we got a couple of games on our head. One fewer game than we thought. But we got two on Monday. So now I'm going to shuffle my approach here. We did one video yesterday, 2 games. I'm going to do one video today, 2 games. And one video tomorrow, 2 games. Yeah, that's right. It's like the old days. You're getting multiple NFL videos. And we'll see if I can smack another one of these for you. Because these 2 games, you know how sometimes I tell you, there's one game I like, one game I think I got a pretty decent read on both of these games. I told you I didn't like that crusty game, and I went over to Area 51 for some of their help on that set on the early game. That wasn't my kind of game, but these 2 teams, you've heard names come out of my mouth about players on both of these teams throughout the course of the season, and why wouldn't you hear those names once again? Because if the Dallas Cowboys are going to be playing indoor where they can throw, and there's not a defense that's going to be all over them, then you know I got to take me some Brandon Cooks. When you leave that total in the low 40s and they're indoor against a defense they can throw against. We took this 2 weeks ago against Detroit, nailed it with relative ease. Remember, we took that a lot in that middle chunk of the year, or like that around like the 60% mark. Then you never heard it out of my mouth until that last game against Detroit. In certain games on the road, maybe I don't like it, but indoors, in Dallas, against a team they can throw against, you have Dak projected for like 280 passing yards. We know they don't run the ball all that effectively. If you're slinging it, 2 throws is going to get Brandon Cooks, because he runs so many deep routes to 40-something. I'm going to take the over on Brandon Cooks receiving yards. So I will take that. I do want to tell you, I went back to Area 51. I said these guys, they don't want any over on receiving for running backs in this game. What else do you got? They said, all right. Well, the highest plus EV OS premium Area 51 rated play on the day is the over on Tolbert's receiving yards. They got it as the absolute best. I, like you, probably glanced right over it. He's not one of my guys. He's not one of the Andy guys. I like to take guys I know I can rely on, but I don't have the Area 51 analytics and bunker metrics. So if you guys want to trust that, feel free. That is their favorite play on today's slate. And by the way, if you want all of these, I always leave the link down in the description of my videos to access Area 51. I have a custom link. Just click it's like an oddshopper.com/Area 51 thing. You can access Oddshopper Premium with that link down below, and I'll get credit if you sign up. No pressure, but if you wanted to go that way, you're free to, and that link will always be down there for you. But some other picks that I like on this game, obviously the classic at home, Dak Prescott, 1.5 touchdowns. You're not going to get the best price in the world, but this is borderline semi-automatic. You're talking about Prescott at home, where they don't run the ball all too effectively. And it's not 3. Against the Lions a couple weeks back, they set it at 2.5. 1.5 in a game like this in Dallas, I got to take the over 1.5 on that. I know it's a juicy price, but maybe we'll combine it with some stuff. What else do we combine it with? I don't know. Put that on hold. We already got Cooks. Now we got that. What else do we potentially have in here? You guys know I'm a big Aaron Jones guy. I usually like him out of the backfield. They usually design some good throws for him. But I'm going to take the under on his rushing yards. I know he's a pretty dynamic player. I know he's kind of killed the Cowboys in the past. But I've seen the Cowboys, when their front is really playing at their best, I saw them hold Christian McCaffrey to like 50 rushing yards or something like that. And then when you couple the fact, you rarely see the full Aaron Jones 99% workload. The same thing that I said about Pacheco last night. I mean, it wasn't a ton of snaps, but Hilaire played a decent amount, enough to cash our overs. And I think Jones, especially if they fall behind in the game and they have to throw more. I mean, the only way they're continuing to run the ball is if this game stays within one score. I mean, the spread is over 7. So if you think the Cowboys are going to get ahead, then I think he's going to go under on that rushing total. And if I think the Cowboys are going to get ahead, it means I think the Cowboys are going to win the game. So that's going to be my same game parlay for this. We're going to take the alternate receiving for Brandon Cooks. We're going to take those Dak Prescott 2 touchdowns. And then we're going to take the alt under on Aaron Jones. And then that's going to smack you up a nice big plus money same game parlay. Then that brings us to the Rams versus the Lions. Stafford going back to Detroit. I'm just going to start this by saying I don't believe in Detroit's defense. You guys heard me talk about that all season long. They had that decent stretch, and then they got this new random reputation that, oh, this is a very good defense. Then they, for a huge chunk of the season, were exposed for the previous year's defense that they kind of secretly still are, other than the run defense, which is good. And sometimes when Hutchinson can get through, they get a couple of sacks. But they are incredibly vulnerable through the air. And if there's a team who's going to be able to expose that, it's Stafford, who obviously is going to feel comfortable in that building, Puka, Kupp, and yes, my guy, the Chock-a-Roach, Kyron Williams. But I like the Rams plus 3.5 in this game. I know a lot of people think they're going to win. I'm not opposed to that whatsoever. But Stafford with the Rams and Kupp in a playoff game, maybe they lose, but I like 3.5. Plus 3.5 is a great number if you like an underdog. I like the thought that I could be wrong, or it goes to overtime, or it ends on a field goal. I like plus 3.5. And I also like Cooper Kupp. I mean, when I think of this guy, I'm always thinking of totals in the 80s, like 85. And yes, Puka Nacua has had this, emergence as a semi-stud. Hard to gauge when you think of the best wide receiver season all time was Stafford. The second best wide receiver season all time is Stafford. Best rookie receiver season ever is Stafford. Stafford got Golden Tate to 100-something catches. Stafford got, not Marvin Jones. Yeah, he got Marvin Jones a contract. He got Kenny Golladay a contract. He just makes wide receivers into studs, all of them. But Cooper Kupp, with this low of a receiving total, I got to go over on that. If I lose this one, I'll do the same tip of the cap that I gave when I was doing the Stride of Pride. I'm happily taking the over on Cooper Kupp receiving yards against these Detroit Lions. And then, just like Dak Prescott, I think Matthew Stafford's good for 2 touchdowns in this game. Detroit hate their pass defense, but they have a pretty good run defense. And I think you're going to have to throw on them. I think McVay and Stafford are going to have no problem throwing on them in that nice, cush, comfortable indoor environment. Give me the over 1.5 touchdowns for Matthew Stafford. And if you need a second Pirates same game parlay, give me Rams at plus 3.5. Cooper Kupp, 100 yards, just like the old days. Hundreds used to be guaranteed. And Matthew Stafford over 1.5 touchdowns. Another big fat payout. If we hit one of these two, we're laughing at the bank. If we hit the main bets, we're still kind of laughing, just not all the way to the bank. All right, everyone, that's what I got for you here on this Sunday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Do you need a bonus? Are you screaming that there are no hockey picks? Fine, just because you're so starved and craved for hockey picks. The Washington Capitals beat the New York Rangers yesterday. This pick has nothing to do with the Capitals. They should be proud of themselves. They're dogfighting without Ovechkin. I think they've won 2 of 3. However, the Rangers are looking beneath them, and they see the Hurricanes 1 point away and the Flyers 2 points away, and they're doing the home and home with the Capitals. They'll have Shesterkin playing. I'm going to take the New York Rangers to even up that home and home. When one team loses the first of a home and home and they go home for the second half of that and they're the better team, I almost always take that team. So give me the Rangers as a bonus pick for you here on a Sunday. Did you stick around this long? Or once I did the good luck to you, better luck to me, did you skate out? Well, now you know. You're going to have to stay to the dirty end so that I can actually tell you to do me a favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already subscribed here. Click the likes and the notifications, everything to kick this thing up, this dirty algorithm. And if you want to own part of this show, you can own a little piece, like when the government tells you, oh yeah, you can buy that star right out there and name it. You can be a Green Bay Packers minority owner by subscribing to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Andy Francess. That's where I usually will answer most of your questions and whatnot. Hopefully I'll see you over there. If not, I will see you for the video tomorrow. Take it easy. And as Marco from Tripolia once said, good luck.